I don't know whether Epstein was killed by the deep state or moved by perhaps Trump administration officials or operatives who are using him now as a witness against the deep state. I would say both of those are possible, but what is not possible, I mean, he didn't kill himself. That's for sure. We know he didn't kill himself. So he was either killed by the deep state or he was moved out to protect him so that he could testify against the deep state. I'm hoping that's the case, but I don't have a lot of faith that it is. Most likely, in my assessment, he was probably just murdered. But then again, the photos of him coming out of the room, they don't match. His face, his ears, his nose, right? It doesn't match exactly. So maybe it's a different body, like a body double that they dragged out of there while he, Epstein, may still be alive. That is a possibility we have to consider. All right, this is Mike Adams filling in for the rest of the fourth hour here on the Alex Jones Show on this November 13, 2019. I have made a lot of notes. I've been listening to the entire broadcast today as well, and I noticed some important things that I believe need to be repeated. So I'm going to summarize for you what I think are some of the bombshells today coming out of Infowars.com, and then I've got some other stories to bring in as well. First of all, just from the Millie Weaver report from Kentucky, there is no question that the Kentucky election for the governorship was stolen by the Democrats using election ballot fraud, where they take people who are out of state or who have moved away, and then the Democrats are able to access those computer databases and then have those absent people vote for Democrats in certain elections or for certain races. And that's how Governor Bevin was, quote, defeated. And I hope that Bevin has the courage to challenge that, because this is criminal election fraud that has taken place. But by the way, I think the attorney general there may cover this up for obvious reasons, conflicts of interest and so on. So there's a common thread in all of this. You look at the impeachment happening today with Adam Schiff, the circus clown of Congress, running a theatrical scripted impeachment theater. It's all about what they can get away with. And as long as Republicans stand back and try to be polite and try to follow the polite rules of due process, instead of taking a stand and saying, no, you are the criminals, you are the people who are violating the law, you have committed election fraud. If the Republicans just stand back and try to be polite, you're going to get steamrolled, folks. And this goes for President Trump as well as Matt Bevin in Kentucky and every other Republican nationwide, because the Democrats are now dedicated to committing massive fraud. They are dedicated to censorship, silencing all pro-Trump voices. The Democrats are dedicated to lawlessness and depriving due process during these sham impeachment trials. So-called impeachment is not even really impeachment. It's like, oh, an anonymous source quoted an anonymous source who heard from a secondhand source that, the president threatened the worker at 31 Flavors for extra ice cream samples. Yeah, that's the kind of impeachment that we're dealing with right now. It is a total circus. What a total joke. But they get away with it. They get away with it again and again. The Democrats do, because they have the media behind them, pushing and screaming for this Democrat agenda. So it's up to Republicans who hold office, like Governor Bevin of Kentucky, to stand up and assert the rule of law. And by the way, got to say thank you to Devin Nunes and Jim Jordan and others who are attending this impeachment, so-called impeachment hearing, and who are asking tough questions and who are grilling the witnesses, even though the roster of witnesses is controlled by Adam Schiff, so that Republicans don't get to call their witnesses. And of course, we're being told this whole time that you can't mention the name of the so-called whistleblower, the non-whistleblower whistleblower, the non-anonymous anonymous whistleblower, the anonymously asserted whistleblower who heard from someone who heard from someone who heard from someone, and so on and so forth. It's a complete mess. But Adam Schiff today says that he doesn't know the identity of the whistleblower. All the Republicans laughed out loud during the hearing, and I think the Daily Caller even put out a tweet saying, well, if he doesn't know the name of the whistleblower, how do they know which name to redact from all the transcripts? I mean, come on, give me a break. So according to Adam Schiff, he doesn't know the name of the whistleblower. So I guess if Devin Nunes actually says the name of the whistleblower, then Adam Schiff wouldn't know that it was even stated. So how would he know to know that you can't say the name of the non-whistleblower, whistleblower, anonymous, non-anonymous source because the whole thing's a circus. What a total joke. But there's more. There's more today. Let me get back to some of what happened here today on the show. Alex is absolutely right when he warns that we don't have this in the bag. Trump is not absolutely going to win unless he fights harder and doubles down and has the support of the people. Anyone who tells you, relax, there are tens of thousands of sealed indictments that are all going to come out. Relax, all the traitors are going to go to prison. You don't have to stand up and voice out. Just relax. Anybody who says that is a deep state operative. I'm sorry to say, deep state operative, because this should be a red alert moment for America. Everyone should be voicing out loudly and persistently, legally and lawfully, of course, but also loudly, that our country is about to be stolen from us by these lawless Democrats, these deep state operatives, these criminal traitors, those who are carrying out treason against this country. And we must demand that they be arrested, that they be indicted. I mean, give me a break. Joe Biden, quid pro Joe, actually admitted on the CFR broadcast that he was engaged in attempted extortion of Ukraine. And we already have the financial records. We know it was over $3.1 million that was transferred from Burisma Holdings to Hunter Biden through a series of payments that were $83,000 plus each. This is admitted by Joe Biden. So why doesn't Adam Schiff have a hearing about Joe Biden's quid pro quo? And the answer is, as you know, of course, because the Democrats get away with everything, while the Republicans are accused of everything that the Democrats actually carried out, because it's all about projection. But if we don't stand up to this, they're going to steamroll this country. Action is what wins the day with all of this. Action. Legal and lawful action, but persistent, courageous action. So again, to summarize, Alex Jones is absolutely right on that point. Do not sit back. Do not be lulled into a false sense of security that this is all going to work out just fine because Trump is in charge. No, Trump is surrounded by the deep state. And as I've said before, the deep state is surrounded by us. But if we just sit back and do nothing, then the deep state wins. So don't let that happen. A second point here, the interview with Dr. Pachinik, I thought was very, very important. In fact, Dr. Pachinik's interview is one of the two audio or video interviews that I think you should see, and the other is with Dr. Michael Savage the other day, a few days ago. Dr. Savage said some really crucial things when he was being interviewed by Alex Jones and also in other interviews as well. Savage talks about decades of, what do you call it? Decades of destruction, decades of bad times for America. I forgot the exact word that he used, but he said that America is in a very bad situation, even if Trump wins. And Dr. Savage is absolutely correct about that point. Now, Dr. Pachinik is correct when he says that Trump needs to double and triple down on these actions to defeat the deep state. Now, I've got to go back and review this, but I thought I heard during the broadcast today here on InfoWars, I thought I heard, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought I heard Dr. Pachinik say that Jeffrey Epstein was not killed, that he was moved out of there, that he is still alive somewhere, relocated. I thought I heard that. Now, maybe I'm wrong. You correct me. You go back and listen to that. I think it was in the bottom of the second hour. But that is a theory that has been circulated for a very long time, since the supposed suicide, and it still has merit. It may be true. I don't know whether Epstein was killed by the deep state or moved by perhaps Trump administration officials or operatives who are using him now as a witness against the deep state. I would say both of those are possible, but what is not possible, I mean, he didn't kill himself. That's for sure. We know he didn't kill himself. So he was either killed by the deep state or he was moved out to protect him so that he could testify against the deep state. I'm hoping that's the case, but I don't have a lot of faith that it is. Most likely, in my assessment, he was probably just murdered. But then again, the photos of him coming out of the room, they don't match. His face, his ears, his nose, right? It doesn't match exactly. So maybe it's a different body, like a body double that they dragged out of there, while he, Epstein, may still be alive. That is a possibility we have to consider. Nevertheless, even if he is, it doesn't mean that you can sit back and be comfortable and just hope everything turns out okay. Everything that you value is at stake here, folks. Everything. Your right to speak, your right to think, your right to even exist in a nation that has, as Savage says, language and culture and borders. All of those things are being overrun by the left. And if you don't stand up and defend it now, you're going to lose this country. And Trump's going to be taken out. You're going to be taken out. InfoWars is going to be taken out if we don't stand up right now. I'll have much more straight ahead. This is Mike Adams here for the Alex Jones Show. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more.
Now it's easier than ever to have band.video on your iPhone. Simply go to band.video with your Safari browser. Then you click the share button at the bottom of the screen. When the menu comes up, you simply click Add to Home Screen. It will then ask you to name the app. I suggest band.video. You will now have band.video app on your home screen, despite the fact that Tim Cook tried to stop it. The globalists think you're lazy, but by taking a little bit of action, you can override them, have the app, and then tell others about it so they can get the app. So it's up to you whether you want to defy big tech and click the share buttons below on your email, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, however you want. Be sure and share band.video.
Taking advantage of one of nature's most nutrient-dense ingredients, VasoBeat will be your new favorite InfoWars Life formula. Using only water and beetroot, VasoBeat is the most concentrated liquid extract of beet on the market. With concentrated beet extract, you can get the high levels of betaine, nitrates, and antioxidants you want to help support a healthy liver, athletic performance, blood vessels, and more. Don't overlook the power of beetroot. Get your naturally occurring potassium, folate, vitamin C, iron, selenium, zinc, vitamin K, and more. With one of nature's greatest treasures in VasoBeat from InfoWars Life today.